Hey everybody, it's Matt with the DPI podcast. Special show tonight. We've got some plans for tomorrow, so we are going to go live tonight since we got that tweet from Disney about Tron. Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel is going to join us, and we've got a ton coming at you. So stick with us and let's have a good show. Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to Disney Planning Insights. Through creative content and live shows, we explain the hidden details of the Disney experience so that our clients can execute memorable adventures. Together with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel, we have helped hundreds of clients plan, book, and prepare for magical Disney vacations. Let our experience help you avoid common planning mistakes and maximize the enjoyment on your next Disney trip. Sometimes you just know when it's going to be one of those days, and it feels like tonight's going to be one of those nights. Hello, everybody. I'm Matt with the DPI podcast. Coming at you a day early this week, we have some special news from Disney. They released a tweet that gave a bunch of high scores in the Tron font, and we have deciphered basically every single one of them except for two. So, got Peter with Princesses of the Mouse Disney Travel. We're going to talk about that, a couple other things tonight, and then we'll have a quick top three, and that's going to be our show for the night. So, stick with us. Real quick, before I move into the next screen. 3 new subscribers. Stitch7769, Sharon, and Marina Hermson. Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel this week. 307 subscribers over on YouTube right now. Join us over there. The DPI podcast or Disney Planning Insights, whatever you want to search for. You'll find us both ways. Mr. Salvador, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. How you doing tonight?
You are quite excited.
Dude, I have been like on an emotional roller coaster the last 5 days. So
There have been a lot of news that's come out. Or are you talking in your personal life? Or are you talking in your Disney life?
I'm talking in my personal life, but I mean, even with what's coming out in Disney, there's a lot coming out. I mean,
there's tons going on.
Let's go ahead and let's hit the timer real quick, and we'll get into the news. All right, we got 15 minutes. This is the news. Tron. Okay, let's start out with the lesser of the Tron news. And yesterday they released that Tron is going to require lockers for people riding. And when they open the ride, they don't expect to have enough lockers for the people that are in line. So that means that you're either going to have it with people, or they're going to have some sort of containment area in the gatehouse for you to do that. Now the problem is like most Disney rides, this doesn't look like it's going to load and unload from the same place like a roller coaster would. So it's going to be really tricky for them to do. I imagine it's going to be sort of like how they do scooters and stuff on some of these rides, where you get off the scooter at the entrance of the ride and then you get off of it, or you get off of it before you load, and then they take it to the exit of the ride. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so right now, I believe it's Tokyo that does this. But ultimately, there's like these little carts with little bags in the cart. And as you're getting ready to load, you throw your personal effects and stuff into there. And then a cast member pushes it to the exit platform and brings back the previous cart, and just sort of, you have a cast member or a couple of cast members whose job it is to literally just like keep rotating these carts to the exit platform and then back again. So I could see something like that. The other, so it's either that one or So one of them, the other one does just has like a small little pouch on the side, big enough for basically a cell phone or a wallet, a pair of sunglasses maybe. So it doesn't seem like the one in Disney World is getting those little pouches. So like you mentioned, mandatory locker system, very, very similar to what many of the rides at Universal does. And free lockers, basically your free rental lasts for about 30 minutes longer than the expected wait time. After that point, it's going to start charging you. And, there's a quick workaround to get the ride up and running and not have all of the lockers fully installed. On the topic of things that are installed, the bathrooms up to the left of the ride look ready to go. The railroad has reopened. They have announced that the path that used to connect back behind the Barnstormer over to Space Mountain, that path will be reopening. It looks like just there's a chunk of it missing. And they've also already installed a whole bunch of the ride signage, including the 48-inch height requirement measuring device has been set outside in front of the ride. So whole bunch. We last week were speculating what is going on with Tron. When are we going to find out about Tron? It was my most anticipated thing of this year. And now, tons of stuff has happened over the last week to make us speculate even harder.
Yeah, so let's get into that speculation, and I'm going to cover up your face and put up the tweet that Disney released. And basically, it's like an arcade rankings board from the Tron video game. And as soon as it came out, a bunch of Disney aficionados started knocking down what some of these things were, and they were things like birthdays and the opening for different parks and the high score ever achieved in Tron and that kind of stuff. But there's two interesting ones on this list, and if you want to look at it, you can go over to Disney Parks Twitter, and it's on there. But the number 2 score and the number 10 score are very, very interesting. So the number 2 score, everybody is kind of thinking that this is going to be the opening date for Tron, which is 1/3/2023. And then the other one is CM, and it is 04482023. Okay? So 2 crazy numbers that end in 2023. So Peter, I'm going to go ahead and let you go first on this. What do you think that these numbers mean?
Yeah, first of all, like you mentioned, a bunch of these other numbers on here, notes of significance. So number 3, TL stands for Tron Legacy, which is when the most recent Tron movie released on December 17th, 2010. 5 and 6 are a hat tip to the first time the U.S. parks opened. Magic Kingdom 10/1 of 71 and Disneyland July 17th of 55 are the park opening dates for the 2 properties here on the U.S. soil. CM. So this is where I hope I'm right, but I hope I'm wrong. So CM, there's a good chance it stands for cast member. And every time before Disney opens a ride, they typically allow cast members to preview it, because then obviously the cast members are going to be out in the park as the ride officially opens, kind of hyping it up. So 04 would stand for April. 4/8 would be the 5 days when they're going to be allowing cast member previews. So April 4th through 8th, 2023 is a really good guess there, which then brings us to number 2, which says 13/21/2023. Obviously, the 2023 is easy enough to cipher out. The 21 is easy enough to cipher out. So then it leads you to one of 2 ideas. That the 1 is just there to cause all of this speculation because they didn't want to just straight out say 3/21/2020. Otherwise, it would be it would be it would be a completely easy. Everybody, there would be zero speculation. They might as well just come out and say the opening date if it just says 03. Second of all, it has to be at the top of the list because this is really, really important. If it was 03, it would be all the way down at the bottom of this high score. So what I'm praying for is that it just simply means that Tron is going to start soft opening on March 21st of 2023. And what does that soft opening entail? Who knows? Whether you're just going to get kind of selected from the park, or if that's when, sort of the virtual queuing system is going to. We fully expect either a virtual queuing system here and Guardians of the Galaxy and Epcot, or that Trons will replace and Guardians of the Galaxy will go to just that ILL, that individual Lightning Lane purchase, as well as a standby line. So the other would be that 1 and 3 have to add together, which if you take the cast member previews, likely being the 4th through the 8th, and you add the 1 and 3 together, that means the Tron will open on 4/21, which will piss me the hell off because I leave for 7 of 2023. So I really need tomorrow or somebody to see this podcast, know that I'm going to be down there the week of the 1st through the 8th.
I'll forward it to him.
Hey, this is a podcast that's starting to gain ground. We talk about it all the time. Some of our stuff has been featured in some other really, really large podcasts, which is really exciting. And that he reaches out to us, or somebody reaches out to us and says, listen, Peter, you're totally right. It is the 21st that we're going to open it on April 21st. But we would love for you, during the cast member previews of the 4th through the 8th, to come right this time. So those are my thoughts. What are you... I'm sure you're going to back up some of those thoughts and then give me some of your own unique thoughts about it.
So I think we've got 3 dates in play here. And I think they did that on purpose. So I think you have 13, which is going to be the 13th month, which is going to be January. And that is going to be when they start the cast member previews. I think you're going to see 2 months worth of cast member, AP, DVC before they open the ride, which puts you into that March date for the actual soft opening on March the 21st. So you have 1/21, 3/21, and then 4/21 becomes the hard open for the park with the Genie Plus individual Lightning Lane or the virtual queue.
So you think 4/21 will be when the ILL purchase of it, and potentially 3/21 is virtual,
the soft open.
Only. Yeah, limited virtual queuing only, so that they also don't have to deal with a secondary wait line.
Because if you think about it,
how they run numbers through and how the ride brings in guests and everything like that.
We haven't even started to hear about DVC, annual pass, cast member stuff, that kind of stuff. And that's a couple of months worth of preview.
Normally, yeah. Or maybe not a couple of months, but like at least 6 or 7 dates spread over the course of a month.
Yeah. So I think you've got 3 dates in play there. I don't think they're going to put the cast member previews right prior to the opening of the ride. Unless they're going to do cast member preview, AP, DVC, like that next week, the 15th. And then, but how many days did they have for Rise? They had like 5 or 6 days.
I remember them having about 4 or 5 days when they did Slinky Dog Dash, because I was down there during the cast member previews, and the cast members were, showing their cast member credentials and going back behind the barricade, and I was sitting there just looking like this. So, I don't know. That's the what we know, or what we can at least, I don't know, firmly grasp at, is that we're expecting Tron to be open no later than end of April and hopefully end of March. I think it would be a huge boon to the spring break experience of guests for somewhere that right now we can agree the focus has to be on a little bit of damage control, a little bit of proving why it's still worth it, and a little bit of re-exciting the next group of travelers to want to make multiple trips.
Yeah.
Because, like, I have talked with several clients who went before 2020, and we have some really hard conversations about what we're going to do now on their next trip because of all of the things that have changed. And what Disney needs is they need a new crop of goers that are very excited, that also aren't subtly jaded, for lack of a better term.
Yes. So let's talk about the other big news. We got about a minute left in the news segment, and the other big news was
Travel deals.
Travel deals, exactly.
Oh my gosh, there are so many travel deals. There's like 25% off some rooms, 20% off some rooms. There's some Disney Plus. There's some Disney Visa cards. There are these dining cards, which is really no better of a deal than getting like 20% off the room. So across the board, the way to slice it is that if you're going pretty much any time from now through like September, you should contact me or another travel agent or get your butt on the line, because like there are just deals galore. And basically what all of them are going to cost, what they're all going to save you is, depending on the resort that you pick and the tickets that you pick and everything else that you pick, you're going to get somewhere around, I don't know, on a shorter stay, maybe like $200 to $300 off. On a longer stay, I rebooked a client who's going for 10 nights and saved him like $700. So
yeah, it's crazy right now. And the big deal at Walt Disney World goes through the 10th of July right now, but they're just releasing them so fast right now, and it's crazy. So basically, you can book anytime now, minus 2 weeks in April, through the end of through the middle of July, and get a deal.
April, I didn't read that.
So the initial deal stopped the 1st of April. The new deal starts the 10th of April.
Boom! Tron is open in 3/21.
So, yeah.
that furthers, come on, I'm just praying. If it doesn't open then at least give me DVC preview the week of April, the same week that the cast member previews might be, from the 4th through the 8th.
There you go.
Something.
That's the news. Okay. Top 3 time. Are you ready for top 3?
Yeah, go ahead. My wife just heard the news and got frantic and popped out of her chair and because we're speculating based on a press a teaser.
It was a good teaser, though. It was a really good teaser. Lots of dates.
Yeah, man, this is exciting stuff. Like, I need the official date.
All right, let's get into top 3.
Business trip.
Did the people move around?
It does tingle a little bit.
Yeah, that looks really good. Hey everybody, welcome to the Top 3 show. I am Matt with the Disney Planning Insights podcast. That is Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel. If you haven't come here before, we are going to pick a topic out of this bag o' chips, and Peter's going to write what looks like on a roll of masking duct tape.
Yeah, packing tape. It's empty packing tape because I don't have any paper nearby.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And we're going to come up with our top 3 of whatever we pick out of this thing. So I am going to pick out number 15. And we're going to see what number 15 actually is, because I am not even close to that screen.
Favorite moments of Tron movies. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
What? Man, to be prepared would be amazing sometimes.
When are we going to get questions just like about Disney? Why is it always got to be about the parks? Why can't we just like favorite animated movie?
We could do that.
Yeah. We should.
Okay. This is actually a really good one because it kind of goes across a couple of different topics. Favorite memory maker photo spots.
Wow. Just like let me narrow it down to the top 100.
Yeah. You have 20 seconds.
Planning your first trip and getting overwhelmed by all the details? Planning your next trip and just want some new suggestions on things you haven't tried? Contact me at Princess and the Mouse Travel, and I'd love to work with you planning your next trip to the most magical place on earth.
You can contact Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel on Facebook at PATM Disney Travel. All right, this is a doozy.
I have one.
I have two.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I'm gonna have to think of some others
and I've got one that's probably a super obvious one, but I've got a twist on it. So I'll go ahead and start. So my number 3 is going to be the Everest shot next to the ceremonial tower. So basically there's a shot you can get at Everest, and they do magic shots and a lot of things at it, and it's before you make the big loop around Asia to Everest. There's kind of like a flat spot in the fence, and there's this ceremonial tower that's right there that you can get the picture of you and your family with Everest in the background.
Yeah, it's right next to the little monkey enclosure right there.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly where it is. And it's a great spot because you don't necessarily know that it's a ride in the picture. It just looks like the mountain, and it's really a good angle for Everest because you're far enough away that you can get the whole thing in the shot and that kind of thing. So my number 3 is the shot with Everest, and if you want to look cold, they can make it snow. So that is my number 3. Peter, what is your number 3?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Can I take okay, let me clarify the parameters. I have one that I'm going to talk about, but just for my rest of mine, can I include ride photos or character meets? Because those would be included in my memory maker, or does it have to be specifically like the tan vest photo pass person?
No, I think anything that would be in your memory maker would be considered part of that.
All right. That makes it significantly easier, but I will go, because you kind of went with a really cool kind of iconic one. So I will go with the Tomorrowland Bridge. So my number 3, if you're in Magic Kingdom and you start to go towards Tomorrowland, almost always there will be a photo pass photographer on the left-hand side of the bridge, and they will organize you with, talking about backdrops, Cinderella's castle in the backdrop. But what I like about this picture, and we can still talk about, because I still might throw in one of the other ones, as because you got all of them coming up Main Street.
There's about 17 different places to get that picture.
Pick a person.
Yeah.
But what I like about this one is coming across, you kind of lose the crowd between you and the castle.
Yeah, because you've got that little moat there behind you.
You have moat, and you have trees kind of blocking, and then you have sort of the right-hand side, like archway, front of castle, and then you've got the castle up behind it. Whereas every single one along Main Street has just throngs and throngs of people. This one's kind of nice because you get that castle shot with your family, but it's a little out of the way, and so it's just a cleaner photo, in my opinion, if I'm going to get one of me and my family with the castle in the backdrop. So that is my number 3. That might have been my number 1, but I only had one, so.
All right. So before we get to number 2, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're looking to book a trip, go do what the ad said. Go over to our Facebook page, Princesses and the Mouse, on Facebook, and you can get any information you need to book a trip with us today. So let's go to our number 2 choices. All right. So my number 2, I go back and forth a lot of times with this, but I love the shot of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway in the backdrop. So this is going to be coming down, what is that? Sunset Boulevard. Yeah. Coming down Sunset.
Yeah, because then Hollywood,
No, it's Hollywood Boulevard, because Hollywood and Vine is...
Yeah, Hollywood and Vine, because then Vine goes left. Sunset is the one that goes down to Tower of Terror.
Correct. Coming down Hollywood Boulevard. So basically, when you go in the park, just go straight. It's real easy. But it's a great one because it's a very iconic building outside of Disney as well, with it being Gorman's Chinese Theater. And with the neon on it, if you get it towards twilight, that neon will really glow behind you, and it's a really, really cool shot to where you still get a good look at your family's faces, but you get this nice neon glow, old school Hollywood behind you. And sometimes you can make out what it is, sometimes you can't, but it's a really, really nice shot, and not necessarily a unique location, but a very, very iconic location that isn't the castle or anything like that. So my number 2 is in front of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at Hollywood Studios. Peter,
Okay.
your number 2.
Yeah, so I am going to go with my favorite park. I think if you've watched the podcast for any appreciable amount of time, you will know for sure that my favorite park is Epcot, for all of the things that are going on there. And so I am going to go with Epcot, and I'm going to actually go with the entrance to Epcot. So you will always find a couple of different PhotoPass people there, but I just love that shot. In fact, it's right there. Like, that's how much I love this shot. I just think that new fountain that they have installed in front of the, what is ultimately a ride, but the globe of Spaceship Earth, is just such, it is Disney to me. Like, a lot of people, oh, I know I'm at Disney because of the castle. For me, it's the first time I see the Epcot globe, whether that's from the balcony of my hotel or coming around the bend on the monorail for the first time, or driving through the park entrance to park. Whatever that moment is, when I see the Epcot globe, I feel like, okay, I'm at Disney. So one of my favorite spots for the PhotoPass photographers is to get this in the backdrop of me and my family on our Disney trip. So that is going to be my number 2 favorite place to take a PhotoPass photo. On to the number 1s.
And before we get to number 1, that shot that you're talking about, Peter, is a really good shot because the closer you get to Spaceship Earth, the less people show up in the background. So if you can get that really close to the fountain, you lose a lot of those people in the background. So definitely tip for that one. So let's go to our number 1s. So I have 2 number 1s, but I'm only going to give 1 because I'm not allowed to cheat. But I am going to give a DPI pro tip on this one. I am going to say the castle as well. The castle is just the most iconic shot at Walt Disney World. It doesn't matter. If you go to Walt Disney World, you have to get a shot in front of the castle. The trip's not complete without it. But if you book a breakfast prior to park open, the PhotoPass photographers are out. So you can actually get into the park before the majority of the crowd and take a picture in front of the castle without that crowd. You can get the partner statue. You can do all those things without a crowd. So, yes, it is a very, very generic shot that everybody gets. It's awesome. But you can get it without the people if you book that early breakfast. So you'll have places like Be Our Guest and Crystal Palace that will offer breakfast before the park open, and especially once character character meals come back. We missed that in news. They opened up characters to Disney College Program.
Oh, yeah, they did.
All the dining stuff's coming back now. All the character dining's coming back now with that. But yeah, book your early breakfast. Get in the park early because you're going to go all the way over to the left-hand side of the gate. You're going to go in early, and they do have the PhotoPass photographers out. Get your picture without the crowd behind you. Peter, what is your number one?
I am torn. I am going to stay in Magic Kingdom, but I am also torn between two spots. And man. All right. So I've got to pick. So I am going to go with the PhotoPass photographer that will be over by the they'll either be on the stone bridge or the wood bridge over by Splash Mountain.
Yes. Yep.
A lot of times they're on the wood bridge because that's just kind of the road less traveled by. But occasionally you'll find them up on the stone bridge, and sometimes they'll be down the wood bridges a little ways. So regardless, though, really great picture opportunity of either Splash Mountain in your backdrop, which is an iconic thing of Disney. I'm really excited. It's going to be closing here in just a couple of weeks to begin its complete overhaul. And then if they're not there looking there, then what you can get is Tom Sawyer Island in the background. Either of them are just like good old nostalgic Disney photos in Magic Kingdom, and are a really, really good place to get a nice picture of your family with, we talked about Everest and all these things in the backdrop. So having like Splash Mountain up in your backdrop is
hurry
a really, really nice place. Yes, I know. We are running short on time. So thank you all, and if you want to talk to me about these deals or anything else, please find me on Facebook. Just type in Princess and the Mouse Travel, and you will find me really quickly. I would love to talk with you. Business is picking up, so I'd be happy to fit in a time to have a conversation with you.
Well, perfect. Thank you, Peter. Have a good week, and we will talk to you next week. Why can't I find what I'm looking for? And Peter's gone. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Like I said, it was going to be one of those days, and it had to be one of those nights. So, thank you guys all for joining us tonight. I'm Matt with the DPI podcast. You saw Peter on the top three with us and in the news segment. If you want to book a trip to Disney World, land, overseas, wherever, cruise line, Alani, Adventures by Disney, there's tons of things you can do with Disney right now. Contact us today, either Princesses and the Mouse at PATM Disney Travel or the DPI podcast. Either one's great, or you could go to the website at patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning. No additional cost to you. What you see on the site is what you pay, and with all these deals right now, we can usually work out a better deal than that as well. So definitely reach out to us and we'll help you out. So thank you for joining us tonight. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and we are going to go to the outro if I can get to it. If you're looking for us on social media at DPI Podcast on Facebook, or you can go over to Twitter at Disney Insights. I don't know why you can't see me, but them's the breaks, I guess. or check us out here on YouTube. Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys all for watching, listening, everything that you do for us. We will see you next week. Have a good week. Be safe. Bye now.